That chatting with two people is only because of... Huh. Okay, are we on? Are we going live? I'm in the chat room. Hey guys, it's Ben Rodriguez, aka Bar One Scorpio, artist on Peter is the Wolf. Thank you for joining me tonight, if you're joining me at all, actually. Let me crack open an Angry Orchard Sinful Apple. Last one of the six-pack. That'll last me a while. And let's see, here's what Jean is wearing. Welcome to Peter's the Wolf filler time, as I make a random image to go with. Get going on now. This isn't going to be a story image, of course. We've been a while in between script. I don't know what the hell happened to Chris recently. He just, I don't know, went writer's block. I think he's hashing out some of the fan submitted, or the kind of fan commission scripts. He'll be working out those. So I think it's just got a couple pages there, but even then it's a couple pages. So what am I working from with that? Meanwhile, this is an idea that I came up with on my own, and we're gonna spend the next 4.5 hours. That'll be 2 hours, 9 to 11, and then 11:30 to 1:30, with a half-hour break in between for me to hit the head and whatnot, and get you guys to some. I will get on back and just let's check out what the heck is going on with Jean. Jean, our classically kind of perkily goth girl, is here with a statue of the Grim Reaper in the middle of a graveyard. Let's take that down here, about 30%, and go into the backs layer, airbrush, wide spray. Yeah, no. And that's where we're going to begin with the background, really. Ah, see? There we go. The backs layer is just a gradient from blue to a dark green. Untransparent, and there, I can go with that. Just had Jean in a black dress to keep things very simple. And I don't think we really need to do that much cleanup overall on her at this point. But we're going to switch up here, load my color palette, use the magic wand just to pick Jean's skin and fur. Boom, automatically. And then I want to work on our ears later, so I'll separate those because she's got a couple of little wolf ears poking out on her head. Yeah, and of course she has a tail. She's of course in human form, but in her ambiguously brown with. And now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, she is kind of almost, well, before Mattel's Claudine Wolf hit the scene, she's got the ambiguously brown werewolf, cute werewolf girl going. And yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, there is a ton of at the Spirit Halloweens in the big box stores like Target, a bunch of Monster High items. So that's going to be like a big off the shelf cosplay, I think. I've talked about, Monster High as a toy and how that just kind of interests me right now. The reason why I drew we've got one filler going up tonight. Chris will probably put that up after, and that'll be 2 images actually of filler, black and white image, just line drawings. And I can't, because we're a little short script right now. But sometimes it's writer's block, sometimes it's artist block. But right now, we got the filler going up, right? And I was like, okay, well, let's see if I can extend this to another week of filler just to give Chris. So it's filler up tonight, filler up next week, and this is going to be the next week's filler. And I came up with the idea for this while listening to Blake Smith's Monster Talk. If you go to the Skeptic Society's podcasts, Monster Talk is a podcast dedicated to a skeptical podcast, non-believers podcast dedicated to monsters, and because the fun of them and the idea that the more you research, history's monsters, the more you find out about the cultures and the society and the the history, the times that make them. There's a thing of map. They did 2 episodes on map monsters. One on all these antiquated maps of the ocean, where that would depict monsters. And then there's another guy who had written a book on the land map monsters. What you'd see like the bizarre peoples that were supposed to live in the far reaches of the world and their habits of the pre-Marco Polo types. And last week, he had released an episode on the original horror hostess, Vampirella. Talking about the cinched in waist, and this is why Jean, even though it's nowhere near Vampirella tight, is wearing a corset that's cinching in her waist quite a bit, has her boobs on display, and of course I'm in the Halloween mood. I'm so much into horror right now that I'm hitting up the haunted attractions. I was like, yeah, doing Jean Goodwin in a sultry black dress was just, that was. It's just a natural thing to do for the haunt season. I don't think even Chris has responded to my idea on the recent character reactions thread, where I was just saying, hey, what would we got 4 pumpkins in a pumpkin carving kit. What does everybody do with them? What do the main 4 casts do? And I don't think he's responded to that usually, which is a tragedy because it's that reaction, the character's reaction thread in the White Line Productions message boards. If you ever visit it, it's a really funny thread full of just insights to the characters that you won't likely get. We won't have the time to go into. I always recommend that thread and the what if thread and a few of our other just for fun threads. Let me see who's joined me in the. Nobody's joined me. I am all alone. Double page manage. Huh. This is annoying, but this is the. Come on. weird. Usually if I give enough warning, I tend to have quite a few people watching. Oh, this will be for the YouTube. And here I was giving like people like 20 hours to... My... And over the weekend, I ended up hitting. Well, yeah, it was the Vampirella episode of Monster Talk that inspired this bit of what I'm going to be doing tonight with making a meme and working color, full color for her. Because I never knew about Vampirella before Ed Wood. Because I wasn't that into that. You know, the Tim Burton, one of the last good Tim Burton movies, Vampirella. Or Ed Wood, one of the last good Tim Burton movies, and he talks about, you know, the relationship Ed Wood had with all these people, like Vampirella and whatnot. And, they mentioned how she is essentially sued Elvira. Well, I was already, you know, as a kid, I was a fan of that Elvira movie, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And because, you know, there are a couple of reasons. It was just really kind of cute, funny movie with the goth valley girl, you know, half goth, half valley girl kind of character. I'm wondering right now if it's on streaming or anything anywhere. I should probably watch that again. Give me a second. And wait, what am I doing here? Two people liked it on Facebook. Anywho. So up here in Michigan, we also have we've got Clyde Brown, aka Creepy Clyde, who's one of my Facebook friends, and same with Wolfman Mac of Wolfman Mac's Nightmare Cinema. And they're just a couple of the Michigan representatives for what's been a revival of the horror host on local TV again, and because you know, I think there's some like psycho clown kind of guy up Minnesota or Wisconsin way. I'll throw them in. So we've got these guys coming back to varying degrees of popularity, and this is of course their big season too, because they'll be, you know, hitting up the bars and doing like movie nights in different bars and clubs. And I've already talked about Dr. Scream's Spook Show revival before. I loved going to that thing. And just over the weekend, I went on another haunt crawl, and I hit up 3 separate places. Last Saturday, there was a fur meet in Flint. I was originally going to do like a double night, a 2-attraction haunt crawl. And I was going to hit up St. Lucifer's and Exit 13, and I was going to hurt St. Lucifer's and 13 Feet Under is a double shot at Flint's Playland Park. Then you have exit 13 on exit 13. It's literally exit 13 on the 475 near Mount Morris, part of the Flint area. And I was really going to do that 2 weeks ago, and I was like going to organize. I was going to try and organize, see if any of my friends wanted to go with me, and nobody was really up for it, which was kind of okay. I'm just the odd man out on this. On the let's all go and hit up a bunch of haunted attractions in one night. So, what ended up happening was, and then because it was kind of funny because it's right as soon as I created this Facebook event and posted it and just shared it with my friends. I wasn't going to go hit up Michigan cosplayers or what have you. Somebody else had organized at the same at Playland Park was going to be a fur meet. It's like, okay, I canceled my event, went out and hung out with the furries because there were already a bunch of people going, and I met a bunch of people that it was kind of funny because one person I was chatting to for quite a while. We were just shooting the breeze on our both respective day jobs. Him working in the Flint area at a lousy place, me working at the airport at a lousy place. And it turned out both of us had met Taryn Zdunich, creator of Reap of the Genetic Opera, at the very first World Steam Expo, staffing it. So it's like we both actually worked Yomicon and the very Steampunks event. We both got roped in at different points by Morgan and his, except we had never really hung out together as individuals outside of that, so that was kind of funny. And I got in some go-kart racing, and then I bought my tickets. Ate pizza. And the pizza at Playland Park is average, but it's serviceable. It was pretty good, There's video games there too, and it was kind of funny because the person there gave us quite a deal, that being free, because everybody else was going to be kind of busy with everything else, so they just gave us a few free tokens and stuff to not have to handle selling those tokens, because they were all prepping for the haunt to get a track, and there was somebody who worked there who actually organized the fur meet. Eight o'clock rolled around, and there were some people actually already in their fursuits, and it was kind of funny. I got the guy I was chatting to. He went home, grabbed his fursuit, put it on, and then he's in the middle of the night, and he was just kind of standing there like a big, just white furred animal thing, too, just for shits and giggles. And then you go rah, and people coming for the actual haunt. Here's psycho clowns, here's machete wielding maniacs, and then there's this innocuous furry, and he goes rah, and still gets a scream. This cartoony animal. It wasn't like one of those vicious-looking manticore furs or fursuits or whatnot, or... And, I went up and got their combo. I got the St. Lucifer's and St. Lucifer's and 13 Feet Under combo ticket. You go through 13 Feet Under first, then you'll go through St. Lucifer's Haunted Asylum, then and also got a ticket for their zombie paintball. And I did dig the first. I dug exit 13, and I dug what's the name of it? I dug the zombie paintball, but by that point, I decided, okay, I'm going to drop off some stuff in my car, and then I'm going through my pockets again, and I can't find my ticket. I still can't find my ticket, my combo ticket. So I was like, oh shit, I lost my ticket. And that was really frustrating. And Rick, the guy who had organized the fur meet, was like, okay, no, I'll look in the place for you. And I'm like, thanks anyways. I was realizing it was by that. It opened at 8, and it was 9:30 that I realized I lost my ticket, and I was looking for my ticket. And I was looking at the lines for St. Lucifer's, still very extensive. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get in the rest of the stuff that I wanted to hit up if I'm waiting in line there, though. So I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm going to hit up some other places. And so I sped over to, not actually speeding, I was just zipped over, but I wasn't breaking the law. Should probably stress that with my driving speed. To Clio Manor, or Clio or Clio maybe, I guess. It's CLIO. It's a town kind of northwest of Flint. And I learned from Aka that, oh, that's another town that gets its name from numbers. It was originally CL10, County Line 10. So Clio, or however they're pronouncing it. Clio. So Clio. And it's right up there with Novi, Michigan. And I don't know if any of my watchers from other states know about this, but Novi and Clio, so County Line 10, Novi, post office number 6. It was the 6th post office establishment in this is this weird thing that Michiganians have apparently done twice of actually 1800s version of leet speak. A bizarre little thing. You know you're Michigan. That's one of those bizarre, you know you're Michiganian when. And I'm not sure if this has happened in any other states. Where the numbers became the letters when we're just that pressed to figure out a name for ourselves. Oh. You're making noises. Anywho. And I was like the only person going in at the moment for Clio when I got up there. There was a group of people doing, and Clio Manor is at a paintball park. That's their main attraction. So what they end up doing is they have a zombie paintball too, of course. And I bought their combo ticket, didn't lose the combo ticket, and went through both their event. And I went through both Clio Manor, and then I tried out their paintball just to give it a try. Because I'm also realizing this. I'm doing this also because not only do I have to do haunt reviews, but if you're reviewing haunt reviews, you also have to review. Everybody's going to do apparently their zombie paintball slightly differently. There's multiple ways to do this, and I wasn't too happy with Darkside Manor. I wasn't too impressed with Darkside Manor. There was a lot of room for improvement. Although overall, Darkside Manor had a lot of good things going for it, but it was a little under. Their zombie paintball was a little underdone. I'd mentioned this before in my reviews on here. Was that the Darkside or the Darkside Acres. The Darkside Acres zombie paintball was kind of a shooting gallery with these zombies moving rather quickly side to side. And it was very dark. They needed more lighting on the inside so you could see the targets even vaguely. And I always just black lights or something because, you get the black lights, you get the black light reactive paintballs, and you get that very cute effect of being able to see what you shot. You can see the glowing mark of what you just hit. If you hit anything, it's a good way for secondary targeting because a lot of the ways that, that is, you're firing pretty blindly. In fact, that's another thing that Clio Manor needed. Although Clio Manor's paintball, I'll get to that later. Because the third one I hit up was, I got in and out of there relatively quickly and managed to get up to Exit 13. I bought the Exit 13 ticket and got in line, and I was in line for 2 damn hours. Went through it though, and it was worth the wait. And it was them that told me, and that's why that's why you got to keep your tickets to Exit 13. Keep your tickets to St. Lucifer's and Exit 13. Look in the one of the haunted house guide or the haunt guide or whatever it is. There's two haunt guides right now in Michigan. There's Fear Finder, which is kind of a tabloid paper sized. Then there's another haunt factor guide. What's the name of it? I've got it. One moment. Let me step away. Do I have one down here in my mess of gear? Oh, here it is. There's my bag. Yes, the haunt guide. The haunt guide at thehauntguide.com, and the Michigan section. They pointed out Exit 13, St. Lucifer's, and the Crypt at Chemco, which are all in Flint. And Best Maze at bestmaze.com, bestmaze.com, which is a screaming trail, a giant corn maze kind of place in Williamston. The Realm of Darkness, which is in Pontiac. Dark Legacy, which is in Wixom, and Hush, which is in Westland, which is one of my most local ones. They're all doing a ticket exchange. You purchase a ticket through any one of these, take it to the next one down the list, and you get a free give them the other attractions ticket. You get a free VIP upgrade. Which is the Fast Pass. Wait in that line just a little bit less. And Lord knows I could have used a VIP Fast Pass when I went through Exit 13 because the wait there was friggin' forever. It was pretty grim. It needs to be a bit darker of an amber. But you can kind of see where I'm going for. I'm trying to give her and I didn't really have anybody to engage with. I think a lot of people's cell phones were running low on power. But the people were nice and genial, and actually all three places were kind of like just taking one look at me and like interested in what I had to say afterwards. Seemingly a lot more than people were just coming out screaming and whatever. I think maybe it was because I was flying solo, or just because because I was wearing a shirt that said Zombway, the Subway. It was a Subway logo, and it was zombies eat flesh. So I was like, oh, okay, this guy's into the scene. And first I went through Exit 13, and I really did like what they have. It's kind of these armies versus zombie overrun stuff, and people screaming and walking through, and there's a bit of up and down and about with that place. I did like it. The only thing. It's kind of entertaining. When they're all. The only thing I could say, well, wow, this would be something you probably do need to change, was there's this one area where these girls are in cages screaming like, help me, blah, blah, blah. And then there's, a scare in there too, but I was thinking, I'm walking through that section, and that section is obscure. Your vision is obscured by fog machine fog, a lot of it. And I was thinking, I'm going to pass them a note where it's, you know what, you really, with the section with the girls and the cages thrashing around, it would probably be a bit better under strobe light. And those girls are not going to go home at the end of the night with their hair reeking. I know I go through one or two places, and I'm just walking through the fog machine stuff. Fog machine fog will stick to clothing. My hair will smell like fog machine fog the rest of the night. I gotta shower before going to bed, or else I'm leaving that smell on my pillow. Please. I'm just like, and this is just me like, I don't know if it's more or less scary, but I know it'd probably be a lot more convenient for your haunt volunteers. If you're gonna make a person be in an area for a long time. Ugh. So I can't do an honest review of St. Lucifer's though, because I didn't go through. But then I went into Playland Park's Black Ops zombie paintball, and it's a couple of zombies, there's a couple of guys with oversized kind of masks and it was cool seeing their technology because they got zombie masks, so they're well lit, and the masks are actually over a paintball mask, so they can actually take a shot to the head and be safe. But I'm wondering if there is in the market for, instead of, say, a big head zombie mask or something that slightly enlarges your head or something, but instead just weird, creepy versions of regular the plastic paintball masks, like more like a splicer kind of vibe to them, right? Like a splicer style mask where, okay, a person can be wearing this over their face and it's still a mask, but it's a really creepy one or something. Or a monster mask of some that's made out of hard resin instead of soft latex for that purpose, for it to directly be able to take a hit. And if you made it a blank, really, but of a plastic that would take paint easily, you could custom spray paint your monster characters or whatever. Depending on what plastic or resin you make it out of, you could get all the protection that you need and also allow for a little personality, a little creativity. Also, I'm wondering, maybe you could do something like of an alien. Somebody should do an alien paintball or something, maybe, or like a gory monster. Instead of just straight up zombies, you could actually get the guy in full armor, because they're like giant aliens or something, and actually vary it up a bit too. I'm just wondering, like, how do we protect these guys? Because they're going to be shot at all night. And but theirs was actually the Black Ops Zombie Killers paintball was actually pretty well lit. And theirs was their kill field was inside this tent, and you could throw out brains that had $1 attached to them. That's their tip, right? So they'll come up and go for the brains. You'll give it a zap them a bit closer. And there's some cover, some tombstone kind of tombstone like cover too. And this is what I'm also thinking. Yeah, now people are going to have to come up with something other than zombies too. But or just straight up zombies. If we're working, if this many places are doing a zombie paintball of some sort, $10 for 30 shots. And what you can do with the I'm just thinking what you can do with those guys is well, okay, they were under this double-sized tent, canvas tent with black lights in there, and kind of like had some kind of cool like swirling wheeling lights, like what you'd see as, well, I guess we could call like kind of circusy light, attract lights too, as under this big top. And I was like, okay, they're zombie oversized head, big, but they're wearing kind of like plain clothes and tucking these zombie masks into the plain clothes. And I was like, oh, you know what? Honestly, here's my idea for that place. You should give these guys creepy clown outfits. Make them clown zombies too. You're already having the shooting gallery inside a tent. You got the circus flair. And that could also allow them to do something else other than just like stagger around like zombies. That was my only idea for improving that one. Other than that, it was pretty good attraction. It was a solidly built, and it was well lit. They used the blacklight style that I like with the blacklight reactive paintballs, which allows you to see, oh, okay, I hit, there was a splatter, yay, go me. Of course, watching these guys spit out orange paintball paint afterwards is like, oh man, this stuff gets everywhere, doesn't it? And they were very liberal with like kind of showing the tech and everything, and where they got these things. I think the masks or something that they were using were like a couple $100 because they were designed in a way for this. But I lost my ticket like an ass hat, and so then I was like, oh shit, I'm running out of time. And I've already liked enough things going on here that of course I'll recommend Playland Park, and of course you guys should go out and give them a try. That's a given. And let's get the yeah, she's hanging out with the Grim. You never see an actual Grim Reaper statue inside a friggin' cemetery. I honestly have to save up for one, I think, for when I die, so I can just have this metal as fuck Grim Reaper statue. Just so metal as hell Grim Reaper statue. Nobody else in my family do this sort of thing. Damn it. That's going to be my Kickstarter. That's going to be my Kickstarter. I'm going to next Kickstarter is so I can commission for when I die a badass Grim Reaper out of marble or stone or bronze. Just, yeah, this is going to be hanging out with my plot of land, dude. Oh, it'll be so I'm tired of little soft and fuzzy angels. We need a metal as fuck statuary in some goth and metal as fuck statuary for a graveyard for teenagers to hang out at. And let's get on with it. Smoke their clothes by. Well, I scrambled out of there and went up to Clio Manor. And like I said, Clio Manor is a paintball park normally, and so they kind of just convert a back section of the thing while it's still an operating paintball park for their indoor paintball place, you know, one of those big box stores that failed or whatnot, and they did a conversion on it. Oh, damn it. Back to... Clio was pretty good. It was their second year actually with the Clio Manor, and they really didn't have any animatronics. But I was mentioning that, you know, okay, yeah, I like to go through all these things. I hit up a couple last week in Jackson, and they were like, oh yeah, we know places like that, because they're fans. Everybody who basically opens up a haunt basically opens up the haunt that they. Almost everybody basically says, okay, what is the kind of haunted attraction that we'd like to go to? Just about almost everyone who opens up an anime convention or a fandom convention, unless like your Dash Con or some other social justice warrior kind of like thing, they're like, okay, what is the kind of convention that we'd like to go to? What kind of anime convention would we want to, if we could magic convention? Which one would we go to? And then, of course, we form Youmacon. And Clio Manor was much the same. Those are guys that liked that and thought, you know, these are the ideas that we come up with. And now, because they have a very small budget to go through. I mean, also this is a Flint haunt. They didn't have any of the big props. They didn't have any of the big animatronics. And actually, one animated digital thing they have is one that I had seen at St. Lucifer's a year before. So I'm like, oh, and okay, so they're also cobbling together secondhand stuff from other places, which is kind of cool, which is kind of cool in its own right, because then it's like, you know, okay, you know, these people are all fun, kind of friends. There is this community where these guys support each other, but even without their actors, they had a lot of actors, and those actors were pretty good. And then they were like, and then I come out, and the guy's like, okay, what'd you think of us? And my thing is like, I told him kind of flat out, if you're not going to be able to afford the big props, try something like, if you're not going to do big set piece props, try. I was blocked a few times, and they were saying like, okay, yeah, we had this problem where people were going through too quickly, so we have to get them to pause a bit. And there's no blow off then, though. A lot of the actors didn't have, okay, we're gonna scare you now, and now let's get you out of here, get out, you know. So there's no like, there'd be a little awkward moment of, okay, you guys aren't gonna scare me. I'm still wondering how much can we interact, how much script do you have, or how much idea do you have to interact with me. And I was suggesting that if they go full touch, because it was a very standard. They won't they'll get up in your face, they won't touch you. Meanwhile, you know, Exit 13, right in their video bill, you know, their video board mentions our actors will touch you, they will not hurt you. And the people at Sinister, when I went to Sinister, and I go on about those guys because they were all cast, all very interactive, and they'll touch you and stuff. I mean, even if you're just like touch a person gently on the shoulders and get them to spin around and to go the wrong way or something, that's a bit more interactivity, and that's also a bit fun, because if the person is not being going to be, if you're not going to get the screams of the person, go for the laughs out of the person. Go, you know, go gross and silly and go for the laughs, because the difference between a shock scare, a jump scare, or a jump laugh is very fine, especially for me. And if you can like go giggle. But that said, they did the decor, the actors were very good, and the decor was very good, if a little inconsistent or something for what they're trying to do. Like a haunted house kind of thing with a ghost girl or something killing people. There's you, like it's Sinister. I'll keep going back to Sinister. One of the things that they did was there was a girl in like a creepy teddy bear outfit, and when I came into the room alone, she was like literally, come dance with me, and I did. And it was such a weird little funny surreal. You give me a funny weird little surreal moment that is felt like really. Like I commented, well, this is just like going through a furry convention. You know, we can always have a bit of fun like that. Meanwhile, and I was thinking, yeah, if you can touch, interact, not like touch, hurt you. You know, if you announce that, okay, you also might find some people that are more game with being interacted and goofed with. The only thing that was, and also one of the things that really didn't fit in Clio Manor, I got to send my thing with this about this is, there was a guy dressed up as a prisoner in an electric chair, and that for some reason to me that never really fits. That never really fits. But if you're going to interact, but if you switched it up a bit, I think with all these electric chairs and stuff, what you need to do is, if you're going to have an electric chair in your haunted house, look to the old movie, the Castle movie, The Tingler. Get a buzzer for the seats, and instead of a guy pretending he's being electrocuted or whatever, make scare, get your basic scare, but then have somebody if you're an interactive haunt, have them sit in the electric chair, and of course there's a joy buzzer right against their butt when they sit down, and then switch it off and watch them jump out, and you can all have a good laugh. That's where I think I'm wondering if anybody does that with their haunt. Because that would to me that would be awesome as hell. That'd be a cute way, in my opinion, to one up it. But then again, there might be liabilities and blah 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 blah. There's always a way to kill that idea. More ambitious ideas, but I'm always for these guys to be more ambitious. I love, and it was Clio. I'll right now give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know. I just can't give. I don't know why I'm not giving anybody 5 stars. Maybe I'm just too reticent to give out a perfect score. When I'm thinking maybe I overanalyze these things. Like St. Lucifer's, the whole Playland Park, I'll give a 4 because there's just annoyances left and right there of just some things being like, some of the Playland Park items were not working or whatever because of machine age and whatnot, or video game age. So the overall park experience, is, well, it is a place that has seen better days, but they do put on a good show. And I was just thinking of little flaws in theme or whatnot that they have with their setup. But I know they're not. So they're more like a 4.5. They're like a 9 if we were talking video games. We know 8 is great and 3 is good. And Clio Manor is definitely good, especially for the price. They'd almost get another star just for being $20 for their haunted attraction, which is you're going upstairs and downstairs, and they make you crawl at one point too. So I think the more interactivity, the more physicality and interactivity they can think up, the better. And there'd be some people that would definitely benefit from low budget but high elbow grease, go for some, like, if they looked up some old they were another one that I think that if you looked up some old Brill plans or old magic tricks or old illusions and whatnot, a place like them could benefit a lot more than trying to have something with digital whatnot. And I wish them all the best of luck in years to come, because they're right now they're a 3, but instead of a 3.5 or a 3 plus, I'd say a 3 arrow pointing upwards. They're probably going to get better as time goes on. And they're definitely worth it just because they're $20 for a combo ticket that includes paintball. And the paintball was wildly spacious. There was more than 2 zombies. There was multiple fields of fire, so they can really handle groups. And there were turret-mounted style, in case you were wondering about that. Oh shit! I'm fucking shading on the gene layer instead of the statue layer. Bugger all. Oh, yeah, I don't. Jay Bones and Robert Rogers are here. Thanks, guys. I did not know you guys were here yet. I kind of started this and nobody was here at the opening, and now it's like, looks like you guys showed up at the 9:45 mark. You could go and review. I've actually been talking about a couple of different haunted attractions so far this entire time. As you can see, this is going to be what the next page filler is going to be. And then I went to Exit 13, and Exit 13 is one of the big, really kind of a nice big haunt. It's one of those ones where they leased, I guess, or bought some big box store. A lot of those big box stores, when they close down, or warehouses, just give you so much space to make a. Michigan's economic decline is great for the haunted and horror industry. They're going to have a secondary haunt this year too, which is going to be like a total blackout spot, but they did not have that running last weekend when I went up there. And like I said earlier, 2 friggin' hour wait. You definitely want to use a VIP Fast Pass, or make sure your cell phone and all its video games are charged. Because I got there at like 11 after leaving Clio. But I didn't get through there until like 1. But, of course, they got still their, I think, Exit 13 is one of the few, I'll say 4 out of 4.5. Yeah, it's a different 9.0. It's right at the bat. It would be a 5 if they just had if they just had some way to run people through a bit quicker. Depending on the night, it might have just been depending on the night. I didn't certainly ask the people in front of me when the line was wrapping around, way ahead of me, how long they were waiting. So it might come and go at different times of the night, but be prepared to pay up or be prepared to wait. That said, they really do put on a show. They're worth the wait. Their haunt actors will interact with you and touch you. They will not hurt you. But it's kind of funny. This time around, the interactivity for me ran to a guy grabbing a hold of me and got a bear hug, while another zombie came up behind and gnawed on my head, gnawed on my head through a rubber mask. So that was kind of funny. While the people I was going through were just all screaming and freaking out average. They had some really cool steampunky bits in there. I think they might have been there last year when I went, but I don't exactly recall them. I didn't exactly recall them. But they just had really cool stuff all throughout. They have a double vortex tunnel where there's 2 sections of it, and each section rotates a different way when you're walking through the vortex tunnel. Love vortex tunnels. You'll always get at least 1 star out of me as the bonus just for having that damn vortex tunnel. I always love those things. They're expensive, but I always think they're worth it. It's kind of funny that somebody else actually apologized. And when I'm coming out, they're like, I mentioned I've been there last year, and they're asking me the questions of what I thought and everything, and of course I'm always willing to talk and help. And it's kind of funny because I don't think they recognized me from last year specifically, but they kind of knew that I was like a regular goer to these places. And I brought up being there last year and having a great time, and I was like, oh yeah, it looked like you changed up some things, and they apologized for their friend who has one leg not being there. Because she had something else going on this year or whatever, couldn't be there. Life getting in the way for some people, of course, And that's always bizarre. I think I did. And that's another thing too, is like if you people who are missing limbs for real in real life, you'll be surprised at how many of them will then kind of like, I'm not sure how many of them get voluntold or asked to be at these things, but what is a natural effect like that or something? It's something to do with your free time. It gets you out of the house, and you meet and terrify new people, strange and interesting people. It's such an odd aspect of life, the whole kind of thing. But yeah, their secondary haunt wasn't open, which was going to be like a total blackout where you have to kind of like feel your way through, I guess. Another thing that Playland Park did, because they are aware that kids are going to be going through those too, is they had a door greeter, this very giggly door greeter that got a photo of her. She's kind of slashed up, and then I got a photo of her with a clown, and I'll have to post that, but she spotted some kids behind me in line, some little boys, and she was like, would you like some flashlights and stuff? So it brings them little pen lights and stuff, or glow sticks, and that's also a good touch for a lot of haunted attractions that not every one of them thinks to do. It's already going to be scary enough. Maybe they'll... But some places will think of like things to do, like, would you like a magic wand when you go through there? And the magic wand is like a glow stick, that one of those fairy wand or fairy sword, kind of glow stick things, and you can bop the monsters with them, and they'll go away from the little kid. Which is another aspect to horror. Going through a haunted house can be very empowering to confront the generalities of fear. I put my name on a couple of the tombstones. So cheesy. Name and date are in tombstones. I'm the blood red Sandman coming home again. So those 3 I hit up this last weekend, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow night. I know there's a bunch of Thursday ones open, so I'm thinking, do I want to hit up some more on this paycheck? Because I did just also get another signing bonus from my contract, so I've got a couple extra bucks to play with. Do I want to hit up those this week, or do I want to wait another week? But then again, next week I'll probably be low on money for gas and everything, and I'm thinking of, it's kind of funny, Dark Legacy has a thing, Thursday night is places like, I'm thinking I'm putting up a place like Airbus maybe, which I know is open on Thursday night, so I don't have to take a night off of work, is the thing for me. I think I'll hit up Airbus, then Realm of Darkness, use their VIP to go through theirs, because there's the people at Clio who mentioned that, yeah, it's the people at, and Sinister, my favorite, like, little haunt thing that I only managed to go through 1 year, but I love those actors so much that I'm talking about them years later. They're now working, this year, they're working Realm of Darkness. Let me just get this section. Right, tombstones, backs. Oh. No, magic wand. There we go. That's what I want. Make that a bit easier, and get me on the right layer too. Now I got that death's head statue, and this is actually going to be not just a print or a large filler image. And the print, I'm also going to work out a meme from this too in the next bits for anybody to play with. So yeah, those three haunts I managed to hit up in one night with some pretty extreme driving in one localized area. That's kind of my. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube right afterwards. That was inspired by that Vampirella episode of Monster Talk, because that's kind of like just having. So much of this just. Jean looks hot in this pic. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jean looks very hot in this. This is her. Jean Goodwin, Queen of the Night costume. And we're so used to seeing, and we're so used to seeing Jean in jeans and shredded out outfits and stuff, so punk outfits, that doing something this gothic is very different for her. Da, da, da. Oh, there's these cute little cardboard signs up at the Target stores. If you haven't seen them, that are like werewolf cross warning werewolves. I bought a couple. I need to ship one over to Chris Overstreet for. They're like $1 each, and they're right up front in that little dollar bin section. Saw one and was instantly kind of charmed. Just some random weathering on these tombstones. And I noticed, okay, always remember if you're going to go to Erebus and Pontiac that I think on weekdays it might be every day. Like the first 100 or so, or the first couple hundred people in get a free t-shirt. So if you're there at like 6 or 7 right when they open, there's a good chance that you can come away with just some free swag. Meanwhile, Dark Legacy in Wixom is offering Thursday night as a free pizza night. Free like 10-inch small, free small pizza from a place across the street, I guess, with every ticket purchase, with your ticket purchase. I'm kind of getting more solid on hitting up on Thursday night some places this Thursday, and then in a couple of weeks with my next paycheck, then taking another Sunday off, try to get another Saturday off in the next few weeks, and use that to head up to one of like the Slaughtered at Sundown. I've never been to Slaughtered at Sundown, so I probably should do that. Give that one a go and see how well they do things. And that's like one of the Scream Park, when they, when somebody turns their entire farm into the place. It's just those are always the hardest to manage time to, because if there's a lot of stuff going on there, you might only be able to hit up the one in that one night. So it becomes kind of a thing of, okay, how do I plan this, and like Blake's Haunted Orchard has a Sunday night's coupon, $15 off, because it's gonna be a less popular night to be up there on Sundays when you got school in the morning, or many of the haunt actors might have, haunt volunteers might have. But I visited them last year and I liked them, so. I think I've really got to be wowed. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm just saving up that 5. I'm thinking if I ever give out a 5, it'll be like a 1. It's gonna have to be one that really just blows my mind some way, with the set pieces of design and whatnot. And X13 had some really cool stuff. They had a few animatronics and whatnot too, and along with their actors that will touch you. I don't know if what everybody might think about haunt theory, of what they like to see more in these places. and I'm still just waiting for some podcast, or actually, I I really like to see some blog or podcast talk to well, the Lemax people. If you ever notice, if you go to Michael's or whatnot now, or Menards, you'll see some Lemax. You know, they used to do Lemax back in the day, did those Christmas villages, and they still do the little cutesy Christmas village of all these people in the snow singing carols and whatnot. But now they also do the Lemax Spooky Village, which is these same scale miniature houses and miniature town kind of people, townspeople and whatnot. That are horror and haunt theme. It's all Halloween stuff, you know, monsters and witches, and it's still very cute and very funny stuff, but horror and weird stuff. And you know, I think this year one of the Lemax things is a almost sweet tooth looking clowns with their I'm trying to think of like the sweet tooth kind of clown ice cream truck kind of thing. And there's a train this year. There's a Grim Reaper with a countdown thing, so you can count down the days to Halloween on little tiles that are shaped like tombstones. And there's never any really press, I don't think, in the haunt community about these things coming out every year. And I'm kind of wondering, like, what is the creative process that goes into them each year? Because it certainly is very creative. My voice sounds horrible and snarky and nasal. And that's why I like the TV show Making Monsters with Ed Edmonds and Distortions Unlimited, is because they had this thing where it was every year was just kind of every year they did this thing where it was or just, you know, for the couple of seasons, because every year so much goes into the production of Halloween nowadays, and it's always kind of fascinating to watch these creative types. There's a lot more. This is why I like Halloween more than Christmas, is because there's so much personal creativity, so much more personal creativity with every year's new animatronics and video things. In this Spirit Halloween, there's some digital video display thing going on. I think it operates on like a rear projection. Now, Christmas is almost always snowmen, angels, Santa Claus. You know, everybody knows what to expect from. There's nobody's gonna really get loose and push the envelope. And meanwhile, Halloween is so many costumes, and while there's a bunch of like cliched costumes at this point, there's a bunch of stuff now that's, I mean, it's always kind of also fun to see who the big, you know, cartoon or movie or something characters are, because, you know, for years it was like Terminator masks, Alien, Predator masks, and there's always just different, and you have your just general monster masks too, which are always sweet. But then the licensed things now will range from Game of Thrones to Adventure Time. There are both, which you'll see both of them, and of course Monster High. And you'll see all this in Spirit Halloween stores and the costume in sections of all the big boxes like Myers and Target. That's the end of that angry orchard. And there's always space for both of those on Halloween, and you know, and giant spiders and pumpkins and Tim Curry and it's Halloween. I'm such a good in such a good mood right now. Oh yeah, Gene. I was using this to get a skin tone earlier. The Old Furries Anonymous, still a perennial bestseller of a T-shirt. Furries Anonymous. Don't ask, don't tap, don't tell. Okay, I think that's got. Oh, damn! Right. Save. Now we got them. I got that. That's just my circular placeholder. Yeah, something like that. I don't know why I'm trying so hard. Oh, it is almost the exactly right size. Robert Rogers. Are we going to see more of Jean actually having sex with Peter or someone in the near future? She's also the queen of the night underwear. I love the fishnets. Yeah. Robert Rogers happens to be a huge Gene Goodwin fan, and of course, yeah, everybody is. I don't know. I think we might actually end up seeing something. Something of some sort is going to be pretty soon. Of Jean's spexiness. Because she is definitely the most popular girl in series with the fans. For obvious reasons. Just so spunky and... What? Ah, there we go. Fire Moon. That's what I'm looking for. I gotta read off these questions. I gotta remember to read off these questions so I don't sound, when they're being asked, they sound a little less weird. That. Scale. just do something like that. How does that moon look over? Filter, last filter. So people know what I'm responding to. Yeah. Artistic paint daubs. How will paint daubs make that a little bit look? Ah, it's gonna take a while for. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that looks reasonable. Better to find. File. Save. Go back to the statue. He does need some highlights close in here. Just a little bit, not too much highlight. He really needs to be mostly shadow because he's got that cowl still over him. Oh. That looks awesome from far away. That looks so badass. Look how quickly I cranked this out, even. Really, you know what? Boom, like that. Backs, layer. And the trees here are part of the tombstone layer, too, in layer 1. So, actually, when I go in here, start messing with that. Actually, let's go straight. Dirt. Am I fucking up with the airbrush here? No, no, no. Just making some happy little clouds. Look at these clouds. Ain't got a care in the world. Look at that. It's the middle of it's the evening. There's a full moon out tonight. Jean looks rather romantic. It's just a happy little Halloween evening. Look at that. There's probably a wolf howling at that moon somewhere in that forest. gonna just add a little bit of, gonna break out the blue, and not. Okay. Look at that, just like in a Disney movie, where the old Ichabod Crane is getting chased by a headless horseman. Shit, I might have. Depending on which way. Freaking whatchamacallit goes, script goes and how much script we have. And damn it, would anybody be too pissed off at me if I diverted the majority of this month just to doing filler of the Peter's the Wolf characters in just little Halloween situations? Because damn it, it's been so long since I've done side art for you guys. Oh, look at that. Damn, that came out really nicely. That is saved. I could flatten this into a TIFF, print and make prints of it. I'll share it out, of course. I'll shrink it down to JPEG eventually. Love to see a spin-off about Robert Richards. Seems like every time she tries to have sex, she gets blue-balled. Poor girl. Labia, maybe? Would love to see you do a spin-off or something about Jean, like her sense of fashion, too. Of course, everybody likes her sense of fashion. Looks great. Would love to see more of Jean artwork. Also some Peter as well. Oh, definitely. Of course, Peter isn't the one to hang out in a graveyard. Here's actually a bit of Indiegogo script. So he's got... No. Oh, God! I fucking deleted that. What'd I do? A statement. Where's my folders? No. Deleted. I gotta save that thing. Move to inbox. On delete. God damn it. Carney Couch tweeted something. Sorry. Moonlight candle thing. Moonlight candle thing has something to do. Sorry to go off script here. Let me fire up the tablet. Dive into my tablet. My docs where I kind of came up with this thing. And now I'm going to cover up this whole thing with text. Save this as... Shrink that down a bit. Jean without line art on her actually looks pretty interesting. But file, save. Because I said this was going to be a meme, right? Didn't I? I'm going to go in yellow. And an extreme of black and extremely dark blue. That'll be our... Kinky is not the right font. Let's see what... Let's see what this looks like. Blow that up. Needle teeth. One of the Sinister Visions fonts from Chad Savage. Let me give some love to that. Visions website design, web design. As you can see, he has a bunch of free fonts that have actually, and now he's running a contest where you can snap a photo of yourself finding one of his fonts in public on something, because these fonts of his, the free fonts, as you can see, this one right here, Creepy Crawly, I believe, is the one right now being used on the Cheetos White Cheddar Bones bag of bones that you'll find in different stores. Spider Fingers. Yes, he has one named Lycanthrope. Should we try Lycanthrope? I do like Ghoulish. Ghoulish is showing up on the cover of Peter's the Wolf. Horror Find or Horror Master? Maybe mostly Ghostly? Or Castle Dracustein? What would Jean dress up as for Halloween? A succubus maybe? Or Peter's girl could dress... Sarah could dress up as a vampire to be a troll? Yeah. Ghastly Pen. Castle Dracustein, I believe. I believe. But the meme is, what is your horror host name? And I've got this kind of prepared right now. And this is going to be a meme going by your birthday to find out who you are on TV as a horror host. What is your... I should add that actually too, the TV horror host name. Does that look right? Font. Lycanthrope might not be the right one, but... That's what Creepy Crawly looks like. I'll probably use several different fonts. That's what mostly Ghostly will look like. That really fills up the... Mostly Ghostly... Oh, you like Needle Teeth better? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you're like one of the few people in the chat that's actually, or watching right now, that's actually joining the chat here. Yeah, maybe Needle Teeth will be better for the intro. That's Needle Teeth regular. That's Needle Teeth spooky. That's Needle Teeth psycho. That's Needle Teeth creepy. So I want a clear font, but and two. So I mentioned that very dark blue. And a brief stroke will help it pop a bit. There's a might justify. Now go off your birthday this year. I still got plenty of space to play with this, so, but it's going to go with your. It's going to be doing with the day of the week, and it'll be. There'll be some options depending on if you're a guy or a gal. Right, okay. Trying to figure out what if this fits. Master, mistress, king, and then of course the last one will be Saturday. If your birthday this year is on Saturday, you'll be something something of the grave or of the dead. You see, well, I'll need to change up fonts. Might even take this color for here. Boom, boom. It'll be Monday this year. You'll be Count or Countess or Lord or Lady. See, there we go. Everything else is like a steampunk name or object to your band name, thing to your right. And Screw that. We're going to get a little more complex. And we're going to go to your... You'll get a... So when this circles out, you know, you'll be able to organize. Kato, mellow or mellower? Oh, Sleepy Dave joined. How do you do, Mr. Rodriguez? Yes, I'll be. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Kato, and Sleepy Dave, and Jay, and guys. I'm gonna in 15 minutes. I'm gonna take a half-hour break, and then I'll start up, and we'll go to 1:30 or so, 1 or 1:30 as we get this stuff done. Because I also have to look up some other. You know, I also look at that. Right, these are them. Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Boom. How much space do we have to play with here? See how much space this part's gonna take. See, everything's gonna be trying fitting in. Fit. We're gonna go with your first name is gonna be according to the. So go duck out of there on my tablet. So, oh, astrological sign is going to be. So like here's the first 6. What your last name will be? You'll be Lord the Lord the Curse. Do haunt, O screams, von Shriek, McKills. Do this. around a bit. Van Gore, Barrymore. Oh, God, these are horrible. Skeleton or skeleton. I gotta move these over here, I think. Move them over here. I think I do have to. I think we'll have to just go something a little bolder for the. And I'll have to do this more here. Kind of funny, that's the same color, damn. Same color red, but look how much darker it gets once I put stroke on. Let me check comments. Let me save. Boom. Check comments. What's Capricorn? Capricorn is one of the zodiac signs. It's kind of a goat thing, fish. Capricorn is. And let me on my tablet. I'm not going to have that. And then of course I like doing this because we get right off the bat a lot of variability. Forgot we're only going like that. I've done this. I've done a birthday meme thing as well, going off the actual day of the month too with Peter's the Wolf, because we had so many characters at that point that we could do something here, something there, depending on when you're. And I varied it up to like there's different locations, different actions with different people. Monkey, wait, no, sheep, horse, then sheep. It's gotta be depressing. I'm a barnyard animal. I mean, sheep don't even show up in mythology that much, man. Hamster, dog, and then of course there's your pig. And that's how these will line up. I gotta make clear slashes between these so you know that those are different options. Depending on if you're male or female. Vampire or vampira. Can be a lot of petty editing to get this all the right size, but you can kind of see where we're going. Hey, John T. You can see the meme that I've been working on. The first hour and a half or more of this was actually just me rambling about 3 different haunted attractions and coloring this art piece. And as you can see, we're getting on. Oh wait, right, that's the way it works. Redly. Let's go. Cryptos. Coolio. There's one missing in here, I think. Oh, right. Lupin. Okay, so at this formatting, let's see. Let me check out my calendar. November 12th is a Wednesday this year, so my birthday is November 12th. I was born in the year of the snake, and I'm a Scorpio. So, Wednesday, sideshow or big top, Lupin Fitzwillies. That'll be my TV horror host name. Didn't even plan that. Well, I'm about to take a half-hour break, guys. Python, answer some emails. I'll give this a pause, and then I'll get on to some more editing and whatnot of either this or something else. I've got plenty of artwork still that I have to go through for Peter's the Wolf, right? the goat. For Capricorn. Oh, what was the last name for Capricorn? Capricorn's last name. Ha ha ha. I'm going to see it here. Capricorn will be Blood or Geist. Let's see, what would this look like as a ghastly font? Yeah, no. Ghoulish. How ghoulish? Well, that's a lot bolder, a lot more obvious. So I could probably go with a smaller font size, maybe there. Needle teeth. Back to Needle Teeth Psycho. Boom, boom, boom. The rest of this of editing this thing will be, you know, just to get it the right, all the things the right size. So not that important. Overall. These almost all line up. I wonder if people would mind if I randomize these things a bit more to put some of the longer names on this line, just to make them fit. But we're going to have the Gene Goodwin, their TV horror host name. Thanks for stopping in, and I'll be Master Lupin Geist, or Master Lupa Geist will be your Sleepy Dave. That'll be your name. And I'll put that out in general next week. Okay, thanks, guys. Sticking with me, guys. I'll be back in 30.